great buzz in the building already.
Feed the crowd, and the crowd feeds us. So.
How loud can we get this place?
I can't wait to see it, but we're just getting started here. Credit to these fans. They come out every night for us, and, we love the support for them.
This is a team that cheers for each other, loves each other, wants each other to be successful.
By Will Smith!
Is Gucci, my guys. Good morning. If you're on the West Coast, good morning. I'm on the West Coast. Happy World Cup final day. Hopefully you guys like that intro. Got me hyped the other day. The hype video that the Sharks released has got me hyped. So put together a little edit, and I think that will be the live stream edit now going forward. But yeah, cheers. Good morning to you. Decided to hop on, do a live because we haven't done a lot of lives on here, and we got some Sharks news this week that I figured, hey, it'd be kind of fun to talk about, just to pass the time as we kind of get ready for the World Cup here. I'm not sure if you guys are soccer fans or not, but I'm happy to wrap this damn thing up because I'm tired of hearing everybody talk about it. But yeah, so today we're going to talk about a couple things. Let's go back to the main screen. There we go. Oh, we don't need the intro anymore. But we're going to talk about a couple things. Obviously, we're here to talk about the hometown remix jerseys because those things are kind of god-awful. We got a new assistant general manager that was hired this week. We have a new contract that was awarded to Connor Bedard, how that ties into the Sharks and Macklin Celebrini. We also have an interview with Todd Marchant. It came out a couple of days, or I won't say a couple of days, maybe like a week ago. It was after the draft. I thought there's some pretty interesting information in there as well. And then, to wrap it up, we'll do some World Cup predictions. So yeah, without further ado, let's talk about, the other news that's not on the docket is our boy Macklin Celebrini got announced this week that he's the cover athlete for NHL 27. Now, I haven't played NHL in I don't know how long. It's been a long time since I played any NHL game. But this one, I think I might have to come out of retirement for this one and buy a copy of this. I think if anything, I'm going to have to just buy a copy of it regardless, just because our boy's on the cover of it. But yeah, pretty excited about this one. Seeing how Macklin Celebrini is just having a run of a lifetime right now, only being 19 years old at this point, or no, I'm sorry, 20. Just racking up wins everywhere he goes, man. It just seems like at times it feels like it's unreal. I didn't think we'd ever have a player that was generational. I mean, it's yet to be seen. I think we can all agree he's probably going to be a generational player, but I didn't think the Sharks would ever have a player like Macklin Celebrini and getting all the attention that he's getting. And, starting from one, it was the Olympics, right? He was already having a good year before the Olympics. And then he goes to the Olympics, dominates in the Olympics, comes back, has a killer season for the Sharks, is in the Hart race, is up for the Hart. Just again in the season, just stacking these wins. Then he goes to the World Championships, and then he's awarded Team Canada's captain. That's crazy. Then he gets named the International Hockey Federation's Male Athlete of the Year, another win, and then he gets cover athlete of NHL 27. So Macklin Celebrini having a run of a lifetime this summer. I think it's all but certain he's going to be named captain this year. I would be shocked if he wasn't named captain. I kind of already talked about how I would do the captain ceremony for Macklin Celebrini in one of my previous videos. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see, like I said, Macklin Celebrini on the cover of NHL 27. Again, I haven't played NHL in forever, and I guess like the big thing that is sticking out for a lot of people is what franchise mode. I don't know what it is. I haven't played it in forever, so I don't know much about it, but I will definitely be playing it when it is released. September 11th is the release date there. But all right, we're here to talk about the hometown remix jerseys. So let's do it up, okay? These things are pretty much god awful in my opinion, and if it's not set in stone that these things are going to be the hometown remix jerseys, the official ones, but yeah, if they are, I hope to God that they are a lot better in person than the renderings that we've seen. I have a hard time imagining the Sharks are going to go with this, but at the same time, I'm not, just because I know how well, like how much people enjoy like the AHL special night jerseys. I think the NHL is kind of recognizing that, and maybe we might be going the route with these hometown remix jerseys. Again, I don't know, man. It's very hit or miss. So just to backtrack a little bit, if you don't know what the hometown remix jersey is, it's going to be a third or a special jersey, a fourth jersey. I don't know. I don't know if we're doing a third jersey this year. No, I didn't hear that we were getting rid of the Cali Finn jersey. So I'm imagining that's still in the mix. So I'm guessing these hometowns will be like our fourth. But if you don't know anything about them, that will be the case for every NHL team. Every NHL team is going to have one. We've already seen leaks from the New York Islanders. We've seen the Florida Panthers one. I'll show you a preview of what the Ducks one might look like. I think the Ducks one looks pretty dope, if that is what it's going to be. But the Sharks hometown remix jersey, this whole story comes from What Chaos, another hockey podcast. DJ here supposedly has an inside knowledge on what the jersey is going to look like. If you've watched their podcast at all, I'm kind of taking this for a grain of salt. I know DJ has kind of like dry humor. I don't know if this is a bit that he's trying to do and people are just soaking it up, but we'll play this one through really quick, and so we can all get on the same page, and then we'll talk about the jersey. All right.
To share any renderings or drawings or whatever I come up with for the San Jose Sharks hometown remix jersey, but I can tell you what I've heard and what I have seen. At least one of you two will fucking hate that jersey, or I'll say one of us will hate this jersey, and it won't be me. It is a ridiculous jersey that I fucking love, starting with it being a teal jersey, like a light teal jersey that has a lighter teal version of this SJ logo.
I hate this logo, by the way.
Using that as the like main logo on that jersey, but the teal that it has there, think lighter. This has a very heavy shark mouth aesthetic. You heard that right, Sean.
Okay, hold on.
There's a very heavy shark mouth aesthetic that really takes over the sleeves, shall we say.
Oh, you have my attention.
If you like a jersey with gums on it, you will especially like
Oh my God, these things are going to be
because
horrible.
I strongly believe this jersey features gums.
I've seen it, and my first reaction was, it is the first jersey in NHL history with significant potential for gingivitis.
It has gums. There's gums.
So much gums.
Yeah, this has been an emotional roller coaster. Pink gums?
Yeah.
I don't
look
know
at it.
about this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they don't have gingivitis yet. Like, they are healthy gums, for now. I will say you do need to see it. You will just not be prepared, regardless of however well DJ outlines the elements of this jersey. You're just not prepared for what your eyes see until they see it. It's fucking ridiculous.
Sean, I have texted you. I did draw this jersey.
Okay,
but
here
I'm
comes
not
the
at
mock up
liberty
here.
In.
Show, and I've shown you what I've drawn.
I'm in. That fucking rocks. That jersey's gonna go crazy amongst its fan base.
Yeah, it's gonna go platinum
for a number of reasons.
Okay. Let's find the mock up here because someone left it in the comments. There's like a kind of a mock up there somewhere in here. Where'd it go? All right, we'll just start with here. Okay, so supposedly this is going to be the logo. This shark head logo right here. One, I fucking hate this logo more than anything. It's not, I mean, I guess it's on brand for the Sharks, but I never liked it when they presented it. I think they used it on like a shoulder for like 2 seasons in the last generation of the jersey. I guess the feedback from this jersey was pretty good, considering like the younger generation probably liked it. Like me, I'm nostalgic. I'm sure like a lot of you guys are. I prefer the old logo and the old Finn logo. This one does not do it for me. And then we kind of get, again, I don't know where these are coming from. I use AI in my job and in my hobby and my YouTube stuff. So I know what AI does when stuff comes out. It has like this swirly texture to it. There's a lot of 71s here. I don't know if this is like a picture of a rack. This could be a very, very cheap jersey, a mock-up one. Again, look at the texture, does not change on any of these. Again, grain of salt. I don't think these are real at all. But yeah, I don't dig this at all. If this is the case, I do see, like, if you look at the current Cali Finn jersey, there's like the fin, like the ocean or whatever we're calling it, the lines on the jersey. This is very similar. So this kind of looks like it's just like again, this is a shitty version of whatever like AI this thing was put into. So I'm just not really buying this at all. And I guess, you know, we'll go back to that in a second, but I guess my initial thought with all this jersey talk, what's happening right now with these Cali Finn, or not Cali Finn, but these Jaw, whatever the hell we're going to call Hometown Remix Jaw jerseys, I don't know. I find it kind of being like a bit that these guys are putting on. Let's see, we got a comment here. It says, what does the comment say about the jersey? It says, they said they couldn't share the drawing, so they didn't do it on the podcast. The ones that float around Reddit just once. Yes, they are 100% fan based. Again, I take what he said with a grain of salt. I think it's just a bit. I think it's a dry bit humor. I think personally, I have a hard time believing the Sharks going to go with this jersey with all the hype that is around the team right now. I mean, I could see teeth being in the jersey to some degree, but having gums on the jersey, especially a color that we have nothing to do with, like the Hometown Remix concepts that are out there, has to do with like the city and the team colors flip-flopping around. Pink is not one of our colors. I don't know why the hell they would throw pink in this and go back to this logo they got here. It's god awful in my opinion. And it's one of those jerseys that just I don't ever see growing. Like the Stadium Series jersey that we got years ago, I thought that was bad. Like that thing, I would prefer that thing over this right now. I didn't even like the Cali Finn jersey when it came out, and that one grew on me. And it's still like not one of my favorites either. But to have this one, whatever the hell this thing's gonna be, with pink teeth and like if it's gonna look super cheesy. I already know it's gonna look cheesy, but yeah, it's gonna look bad. Let me know down in the comments if you think this is a bit or not, because I think they're just running away with this a little bit. They're getting attention for it. Like I have no. I can say maybe he has a source that's saying that this is real, but maybe the source is fucking with him. Maybe, like maybe this is just like a big ass joke behind the scenes, because these mock-ups are just, they're horrible, man. And if this is really what they're going to be, then there's going to be a lot of pissed off Sharks fans, because the Sharks have a dope branding, so many opportunities to do better things than this. And this is what they're going to go with. Pretty damn bad. Now, the other ones, hometown remix jerseys that we've seen. This is not, obviously this is not a real one. This one's been popping up everywhere that I've seen so far. The Ducks hometown remix jersey, we kind of knew that they were going to go back to like the Mighty Ducks colors, their original jersey in the Mighty Ducks movie, which would be this yellow, purple, and green. These are pretty sharp, man. Like I'm not like, I might have a couple Ducks jerseys, like the old ones, their original ones that kind of sit in my collection, but this one's pretty dope, man. Like if the Ducks went back to this, I'd probably buy this one too. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if this is really what it's gonna be, this looks pretty dope. I think there's another version of it here with the matte green helmet. These are insane. Like I would love to see these on ice. This is what I would imagine a hometown remix jersey is. Our jersey, our concept jerseys out there, that's gonna look horrible, Matt, next to this thing. Like, we've got to do. It's got to be a gag. It has to be a gag. But again, it's just nuts to even think that this is gonna be a real possibility that these things are out there. But yeah, like I said, let me know down in the comments if you think that hometown remix jersey is real or not. I can't imagine it being like, I'm still having a hard time wrapping my mind around the idea that the Sharks would approve of this concept and that logo. Like, just, what I haven't mentioned either too is, like, if you watch the prospect scrimmage the other, like, last week or whatever it was, in their pre-intro, like, video stuff that they were doing on the board, you were seeing the old logo with like a 90s background, like on the projector or the main screen or whatever it was. And we even saw it in the stream. Yeah. You would see like the logo on the on the stream, and you would see it like in the arena. If you were in the arena, I'm sure you saw it with that 90s background. And I was wondering why they were using the old logo, because we haven't seen the old logo in forever. Like, we had the Heritage jersey last year. That wasn't really like, I mean, yeah, the logo was dope, but we didn't see that artwork. At least I didn't see that artwork anywhere across social media or anything. This is the in-game arena presentation artwork I'm talking about. But we saw it in the stream, the prospect stream, with that 90s kind of background. If you know what I'm talking about and you've seen it, let me know. But I had to imagine, like, why were they using it then? And with this hometown remix jersey stuff coming up, are we looking at possibility of, like, this is a dupe and we're going back? Like, maybe it's a fake mock-up to get fans to, like, just kind of get them talking about it, buzzing about it. Because when if our jerseys come out and, like, they're like the 90s jersey and like a twist of the 90s jersey, those things will probably sell like crazy, because people of my age, original fans for the original team, I'm buying that shit up, man. Like, all my hats and stuff are pretty much all damn near all the old logos. So if they come out with something like that, those things I imagine would sell like crazy. The other thing that I did that not a lot of people are talking about in terms of like logos and stuff is there was a video. If you guys follow, what's his name? Trailer Park Sports. If you guys know who I'm talking about, Will from Trailer Park Sports. He was like one of the Sharks fans that was brought to one of the games last year, and he, if you look at him on not Twitter, but on TikTok, he's a Sharks fan. He's a newer Sharks fan. He's buying into all that stuff. The Sharks gave him like a bunch of merch that had the old Chomp logo on it, right? Like the hats and stuff. And in one of his videos, he was talking about, he had the Chomp logo and he was like, this hat's dope. I really like it. And I really can appreciate this logo. And he said something like, there's rumblings that this logo's coming out, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about that. And not a lot of people at the time picked up on that. And we've been seeing the Chomp logo come back a lot. We've been seeing like the love that we had for the 30th anniversary jersey or 35th anniversary jersey. And that Chomp logo really wasn't associated with that very much at all. So I'm wondering like why all this Chomp logo. Obviously, it's because it sells. So it's like one of my favorite logos. My all-time favorite logos is the Chomp logo. And if he said he's not sure if he's allowed to talk about that, that kind of raises the eyebrow a little bit there. So I think we could I think this jersey, hometown remix jersey, I think it's fake. I don't think it's real at all. I know the mock-ups that all the fans are putting out are fucking hilarious. Again, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I would be shocked, but I wouldn't be super surprised that like this is the direction like the league wants to push it. Because like obviously kids like to buy jerseys. Like that's going to be probably like a high selling jersey for like a lot of little kids, but people our age, my age, I'm in my mid 30s. Like this thing would be laughable. You would not cut. I might buy one just to have one like sitting in my reserve of like jerseys that I have in my collection, but I have a hard time believing that's going to be the real jersey. But yeah, like I said, I don't know. I think it's a dupe. I don't think it's real at all. It's fucking hilarious if it is. And man, it's hard for me to believe that that's going to be the case with this hometown remix jersey. All right. Moving on to other Sharks news. We had a assistant GM that was hired this week. We know that we didn't have an assistant GM. At least I don't remember having an assistant GM for a while. We had Ryan Clough. Was it last year before he moved on to New York? He going back to Ryan Clough. Ryan Clough, like, I think his family is in Nova Scotia or I can't remember, somewhere in Canada. But he left the Sharks to be closer to family. Wound up taking a job with the New York Rangers. That's fine with me. I mean, Ryan Clough, we all know Ryan Clough. He's a freaking Sharks legend. It would have been dope to have him remain with the Sharks, but I get it. But yeah, Sharks this week hired Jeff Keatley as assistant general manager. He comes from the Nashville Predators. He has ties to Mike Greer. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I know this man's like career and his background. Like, I've read what the Sharks have put out, and that's pretty much the gist of what I know about him. A lot of fans, same deal. We know he's drafted some good players like Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg, I believe, was one of them, and a couple other players here and there. But there we go. He's drafted players like Philip Forsberg, Josi Saros, Colton Sisson, Matthew Wood. Cool, whatever, right? He was with the club for a long time, with them for a long time. I think he was the one who drafted Askarov for them, so he knows Askarov pretty well. I'm pretty sure, like at this point, we kind of know Askarov, what he is and what he's producing. Hopefully, he can produce a lot more this year. But like I said, I've seen a lot of fans, or not. I don't know if they're fans or not, real fans or not. But I've seen a lot of people talk about this hiring like this is a great hiring. I'm sure it is. Like the Sharks have been knocking it out of the park with their staff additions and their drafting. And obviously, this man ran the draft for the Nashville Predators for 18 years. But I've seen like a lot of bullshit too. Like, oh, this is great. I'm like, dude, we've been drafting well. It's very obvious we've been drafting well for the last like couple seasons. This addition to the staff is like another added piece. Great, but time will tell with this one. Like, I'm not like putting too much stock into this right now. So cool. We got a new GM, our assistant GM. Mike Grier's been killing it. I would be interesting to see what this change actually means for the Sharks going forward in the draft. I know like one of like our issues with the Sharks right now has been adding players after the draft, right? Like our just trying to get our depth like in season hasn't been super great. Obviously, we haven't been buyers lately. We've gotten a few pieces here and there. So if he can add, you know, pieces in season and help Mike Grier make better decisions mid season, cool. I can appreciate that. Now he does have ties into the gold medal USA team from this year. He's been working with Team USA for a while, and it also that kind of ties back into if we look at where our team's at right now. You know, we know that Ryan Warzowski was the head coach last year of the World Championships. I'm sure he has ties with that there. He's probably has ties to Michael Kesselring, the whole USA, you know, team aspect of it. I'm sure he adds to that. We know Mike Grier has ties to that in some capacity. So I think there's a familiarity there with Mike Grier feeling comfortable to hire him. Again, time will tell. Like, you know, Nashville, yes, they did go the Stanley Cup, but, you know, with some of the players he drafted, but realistically, like, once he drafts a player, like, what else is he doing at that point in time? So, yeah, we have a new assistant general manager, Jeff Keighley, coming in. Again, time will tell with this one. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I've seen a lot of videos out there right now saying, "Oh, this is crazy good hire." I'm like, dude, it's mostly that shit is clickbait. Most of that is like there's not a whole lot going on in the news. So, again, if you want to be excited about this hire, cool. That's on you. Me, I'm like, again, time will tell. I'm not really tripping about this one all too much. Now, I did say in the intro, we have an interview with Todd Marchant, who is one of the development coaches for the Sharks. And this one did come up a couple days ago. I didn't watch it up until I started watching it yesterday and decided, hey, you know, if anything, let's watch it together because there is some telling information in here about why we went the way we did with the draft and how the Sharks are viewing their prospects and their pipeline. I think we can all kind of agree we kind of have a good idea of what the opening lineup is going to be like or what the line is going to look like going into next year. You know, we're still waiting on Colin Graff to sign a new deal or be presented a new deal. That will be an issue. I guess you can call it an issue, but it'll be a topic of conversation going forward until that happens. So that could be a piece that's different next year if he isn't here with us or if he's traded away. Give or take, you know, do with that what you will. I would love to see Colin Graff come back, but at the same time, if we can trade him to get an additional piece, maybe that ties into why we have a new assistant general manager. Who knows? But I would love to see Colin Graff come back. But yeah, the Todd Marchant interview, we'll play that one. We'll watch this one through together. We have Ted Ramey here talking with him here, and we'll play this one through.
Director of Player Development and Senior Advisor for the San Jose Sharks. Todd, if you could first outline what exactly does Director of Player Development mean for the uninitiated?
So my job entails watching our prospects once they get drafted, you know, keeping tabs on them, making sure that they're going in the right direction, you know, going out to see them play, dealing with anything that they have going on because it's development is such a huge part of the game today because you can't just go out and buy players. There's a salary cap, so you have to develop them within. It's a great job. I love seeing players when they get drafted and then get to see them play in the National Hockey. It's a big thrill for me.
Tell us about Ivar Stenberg, drafted second overall.
What we want to know.
Everyone says he's quote unquote NHL ready. What does that mean to you? Do you agree, disagree, and how does that work with your timeline?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's path is a little bit different. Obviously, it was a high pick. We got to see him at the World Juniors. He had a great World Juniors for Team Sweden. So, you know, his play will dictate, you know, where he's ready. But he's a very talented player. We're just super happy to have him part of our arsenal of good young players and enjoying the players like Mac and Will Smith and Michael Misa.
When you see that Stenberg can play against men at the Worlds, does that help everyone's evaluations?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, these players nowadays, they're so more advanced at 18 and 19 years old than they ever were before. So, you know, we're really excited that he can be a San Jose Shark, and it'll be interesting to see where he ends up.
Now, everyone, like, I think we can all agree that Stenberg is going to be, I mean, he signed his ELC, so that means he's obviously going to be with the club. There's a lot of people out there who are saying they don't know if he's going to make it, or, you know, like, not make it, but obviously, you know, make it opening night, I would say. I've seen enough highlights and tape of him to be comfortable to say, yeah, he's going to be on the team. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You know, the people that have been saying, you know, like, where is he going to play in the lineup? Where, like, on what line? People are automatically putting him on the first line with Mac and Will just because of, you know, one, his age and his skill set. But I don't agree with that. I think he deserves, you know, to be playing, if anything, on the second line to start out the season, and then earn his right to be on the first line. I think he can definitely do it, but I also think we have to look at matchups. You know, like, we need some, you know, again, we haven't seen him, like, play an NHL game yet, so it's hard to, like, even talk about it, to be honest. But unless, like, he has, like, a crazy presence on the ice where he can overtake a Colin Graf, a Chernyshov, I don't see him playing on the first line right out of the hop. But I wouldn't be surprised if he earns a spot in the top line. I can definitely see Ryan Warzowski doing something at some point to put him on there to get the fans all hyped up and everything. But I'm going to hold judgment on that. If he plays on the second line to start the season, which I have him on the second line to start the season in my opening lineup video, that's fine with me. Same time, people want to put Marchand on the first line, or not Marchand, but Marchman on the first line. I don't see that happening at all. Just because we picked him up doesn't mean he's going to be there automatically. But again, same time, I'm holding my judgment and predictions for the season because we know how crazy things can get with Ryan Warzowski jumping a line. So yeah, that's
Verhoff, 6'3", 6'4", 210 pounds, big right shot. What do you look at when you see him?
Yeah, we saw him a lot this year too because we had David Klee, who was at North Dakota. So very mobile, big shot, moves well. We were ecstatic when he was still available at 9 for us.
When you talk about the development of a defenseman, people stretch that out. They say it takes a long time. Why is that?
It's just a much more difficult position to play. There's only six defensemen in a game, and usually when the forwards make a mistake, it leads down to the defensemen, so they have to clean up our messes, so to speak. So being a defenseman in the National Hockey League is very challenging, but you know, we're very, very patient with these players, and we want them to have their own path and have their own timeline.
With Ryan Lynn, the quote-unquote knock on him is that he wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but a lot of people say
I'm pretty excited about Ryan Lynn, man.
San Jose Sharks, the difference between 5'11" and 6 foot, not that much. What do you see when you look at him? And obviously, he's got a friend on the team in Keaton Verhoff already.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a very smart player, very cerebral, very good at defending. And you don't have to be the biggest player anymore to play that type of a game. So really excited to have him. Mike was able to move up to get him. Another right shot D that, you know, they just don't grow on trees. They're very difficult to find, and we were able to get 2 of them in the first round.
That's some good work indeed.
Yeah, so if you heard what he said about Verhoff, that they were excited, like their table was going crazy when he was available at number 9, which I think a lot of us were kind of excited about that. You know, everyone I don't want to say it wasn't a pre-tank, but before we knew what the Sharks were going to be last year, you know, everyone was saying tank for Verhoff, and you know, we heard that rumor going around a lot because Verhoff at that point in time last year was projected to be number 1. Obviously, it just turned out way different. So to know that the Sharks were excited about him, meaning that, yeah, obviously everyone was watching him. He's been a top prospect all last year. That kind of, I just wonder what the draft board for the Sharks looked like. Like, was it an obvious Chase Reed was number 1 for the Sharks in terms of defensemen, or was it Verhoff? You know, we know Verhoff and Lynn were definitely on their board somewhere, and they obviously jumped up to get Lynn from 27 to 21. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was 21. So obviously they have high praise for these young players. But like I said, I'm pretty excited about Ryan Lynn. I didn't know much about him like pre-draft. Like I did like a little bit of like watching and seeing like who are the top prospects for defenseman. I know he was one of them. I didn't go too deep into the weeds with like his tape or anything because I was like, I figured he probably wouldn't even be there. But when Verhoff came up and we started seeing the board shift once, you know, like who was it? It was Daxon Rudolph who was taken fourth for the Buffalo Sabres. That one had me scratching my head like, okay, for one, I don't really give a shit what Buffalo's doing, but why they went that route and why was he the first defenseman off the board when everyone was talking about Chase Reed. And then we saw Chase Reed, you know, starting to kind of fall a little bit. I was on the stream during the draft, like telling, like, I was like hoping, like probably like a lot of you guys were like, pick up the phone, trade down and get Reed if you can get him. Obviously they didn't go that route and they went with Verhoff and they're happy with their decision. And I'm pretty happy with that decision as well. But just hearing what they're saying in terms of how excited they were that he was going to be there and they didn't have to trade up for him makes me pretty damn confident that these guys are happy with Verhoff. Again, obviously, we don't know what the plan's going to be with Verhoff. I think we can all kind of agree that he's most likely going to go back to college, which is fine with me. But to hear that they're excited, they were as excited as he can describe. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the decision they made. Would I have liked to gotten Chase Reed? Yes, but you know, we got to put a little bit of faith in our staff, and if they were excited about Verhoff, then I'm pretty excited about it too. And like I said, I'm pretty excited about Ryan Lynn as well. Whenever he decides, or whenever they decide, it's time for him to make a move up. We'll see how he does in college this year. So we'll see. You know, a lot of good things to come from the Sharks and their prospect
When you do have
pipeline.
players that know each other, does that help if they come into the system at the same time?
Absolutely. I think that, you know, it's nice to have a friend or somebody that you know. But once you get through one development camp, it's amazing how they bond, the friendships they have. And, you know, we saw players yesterday that have, you know, haven't seen guys all year, and then all of a sudden they remember from last year's development camp.
Yeah.
So it's becoming a part of a family, and that's the kind of atmosphere we're trying to create.
With both Stenberg and Verhoff, they've got family who have already played in the NHL. How much does that help things?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, they know what's expected. They know what the grind.
If you
is
don't know,
like, and,
Stanberg's brother plays for the
anytime
Blues.
you can have that kind of experience or that kind of people around you.
And then Verhoff has his cousins are the
A
Docs.
player like Keaton Verhoff, in terms of, you know, him maybe expecting to
Kirby
go
and
higher
Colton
in the
Dock.
draft and being there at 9. Was that something that you think he has in the back of his mind, that he maybe wants to prove people wrong?
I think everybody wants to prove people wrong. It doesn't matter whether, you know, Ivar could be the same way, being a 6 foot forward. Everyone wants a 6'5", and it's like, you know, when you're growing up and playing, everyone's like, oh, he may be not tall enough, not big enough, but you're always trying to prove people wrong. And I'm sure Keaton's no different.
How do you go about developing the timelines for all the players in this draft?
I just gotta be patient. You know, Mike Greer is very patient with all of our players, and no development path is the same. Everyone is different. So some people it happens quicker, some takes a little bit longer. But if you're patient, you know, the players. The worst thing you can do is rush a player into something. I mean, and then they get overwhelmed, and then they lose their confidence, and then they're not going to be the player that you want them to be. So I think that's when you're patient, you let them develop at their own pace.
And does that go the same way for goalies and defensemen?
Absolutely.
Specifically for goalies.
It's huge. You know, we've been able to, every year we've been able to graduate 1 or 2 players from the Barracuda to the big club. And if we can continue to do that, that makes our team that much better.
What is the process like for you to develop these now players individually? Do you sit down with them, go over film? Do you talk to them? Is it delegating to your staff? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mostly just developing the relationship, communication. Like that.
All right. We don't need any more of that because it just kind of rambles for the last second. He's going to tell them, go back to wherever you're at and practice on these things and whatnot. But yeah, I thought that interview was you know, obviously it was very short, but very telling, kind of like having an idea. You know, Mike Greer is a man of few words, it seems like, when we hear him in the press and when he talks about the prospects and everything. But to hear him talk about having the patience for the younger guys, you know, as fans, we want to see these prospects be in the lineup like immediately. Like I saw like people just be like immediately putting Ryan Lynn in the lineup like over Cagnoni already. I'm like why? Like that it makes no sense. Obviously these are people who like don't know anything really about much of anything. They're just kind of riding the hype train. But to see where their heads are at right now and all the moves that we made in the offseason, signing or trading for Darnell Nurse, signing Jacob Trouba, getting Michael Kesselring, you know, like patience is what it should have always been. And though like we had a good season last year, or for the Sharks, we had a good season last year compared to years past, you know, everyone is quick to rush this plan. And again, we know like real hockey fans, real Sharks fans, they know like patience is what we're going to be doing here. And to hear them say it to a degree, being like, hey, like these guys are going to develop. Like they believed in them. They obviously like really wanted these players. Obviously Verhoff at number 9 and Lynn at 21. So there's really no need to rush them. They're just excited they have the guys that they wanted, and they're players that as fans we can appreciate, and a lot of us wanted them too. Obviously people wanted Chase Reed at number 6, I think, or number 7 is where he went. But I'm very happy with Verhoff. He's still got to develop 100%. He has to develop. But I'm again, patience is the key with defensemen and goalies, like you just heard him say. So again, the future is very bright for the Sharks. I know a lot of people want to rush this process for a lot of these players. Doesn't need to be rushed. You know, if they have standout years in college and wherever it is they're playing, and we want to see them come up, you know, if we're not in the playoff race at that time in April, you know, we've seen players been called up across the league just, you know, to get their feet wet, so to speak. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case for Verhoff at some point this year. But I think our team's going to be a lot different this year, in a way better position where we don't need to call up anybody from college or allow them to come from college. Like there's enough players in the Barracuda that we can rely on. But again, if Verhoff has a crazy year at, was he Michigan State, or no, not Michigan State, South Dakota, or North Dakota, I should say. Ryan Lynn's going to be playing Michigan State. But if he has a crazy year at Nodak, then shit, maybe we see him, but I doubt it. But yeah, the other big news that happened this week that's not really Sharks related. Well, it is Sharks related, but it has nothing really to do with the Sharks, as you see down there. Connor Bedard has signed a new contract with the Chicago Blackhawks. Was it 5 years, $15 million AAV per year? That is a good, realistic measuring stick that we can kind of compare for Macklin Celebrini's new contract that he's gonna get eventually, whenever it is. I've seen people talking about Connor Bedard signing 5 years, and good for Connor Bedard for signing for 5 years, and why not give him the max, and all this kind of bullshit of why he didn't sign for longer, and people using this as like a straight comparable to Macklin Celebrini. I don't know about you guys. You guys can let me know down in the comments if Macklin Celebrini is better than Connor Bedard. I 100% think he's better than Connor Bedard. Like, measurable better, Connor Bedard hasn't had anyone to play with pretty much at all since his time in Chicago. I think if he had better talent around him, maybe he'd be probably where Celebrini is at right now. But also, we've seen Celebrini pick up an entire franchise like damn near overnight by himself. So I think he's worth more than Connor Bedard right now, based on his stats alone last year and what, again, I listed off what his crazy and toward like his whole year and his summer. We're not seeing much of Connor Bedard at all. Like in those kind of conversations, we know Connor Bedard's a great player. $15 million. I know that was kind of like where a lot of people were projecting he would be and where the cap is going. So 5 years, $15 million. I can see that being perfect for Connor Bedard. 5 years, that is an escape for him. Like that's probably what him and his camp wanted. Like give us 5 years, show us that we can improve in 5 years, contend in 5 years. At the end of 5 years, if they're in a better spot, then they can, extend if they want to. I think the Sharks, if you're looking from Macklin Celebrini's perspective, we have the pieces. We have way better pieces than Chicago has right now. Chicago still has to acquire more pieces. I think the Sharks might be even, we're going to keep acquiring. It would be dumb for us not to keep acquiring, but we're also in a position where we can sell and add, current NHL players to our roster if we wanted to. We can trade players like a Quentin Musty if we wanted to. We can trade a Cagnon if we wanted to. I don't think we're going to, but we could if we wanted to. I would not be surprised if we see some players moved to add to our current lineup right now. When you look at Chicago, who are they going to trade away to acquire a significant piece? I don't know. Macklin Celebrini's next contract, if he's looking at it like a lot of us fans are, we know he said, we heard him talk about potentially taking a hometown discount. Taking less. I don't know if that's a hometown discount or not, but taking less to pay players on our current team right now. That boy deserves everything that he wants. Like if I'm Mike Grier and Hasselplatter, I'm like, here's a blank check. You tell us what you want to do. We'll do it. If we can get you the max extension or max contract, let's do it. It's just, we're head and shoulders above Chicago right now. If Mac wants 5 years because the cap's going to go up, I can see that. But I also don't, I would never say never. I wouldn't say that we're going to win a Stanley Cup in 5 years, but if our team could come, getting better over the next couple of seasons, I'm not going to say we can't contend for a cup in 5 years, but it gives the Sharks and the Sharks fans, everyone like a little bit more comfortable, make him more comfortable, I guess I'm trying to say, if he signs the max now, because we have all the pieces and we can contend in 5 years or even sooner. Whereas Chicago, I don't think they're going to be contending at all. Like at the 5 year mark, maybe they're contending. But until I see Chicago like acquire pieces and start building around Connor, like we've been building around Celebrini, it gives gives Connor Bedard an escape in 5 years. And I don't think Macklin Celebrini wants to escape what we got going on here. The door is open, the checkbook's open. Max just got to tell the Sharks what they want, what he wants to do. And I have no reason to believe the Sharks will say no to pretty much anything. Like he deserves everything. It kind of ties into Colin Graff, and maybe that's why we're waiting. Maybe we're waiting to see if Will and Max deal are going to be done at the same time, and where does that leave Colin Graff? And Mike Grier's run the numbers apparently, so we'll see what those numbers look like. But if Colin Graff isn't signed, I would say like in the next at least by training camp, I have a hard time imagining he's going to make the lineup or be on the team next year. And it would suck. But at the same time, if we can trade him to get a piece, then I would be okay with it. It just depends on what the piece is. But yeah, Connor Bedard getting a new deal. Macklin Celebrini looking at a new deal. What does Macklin Celebrini get? I think he's in the middle. I think he's at 16. I know it's not much more than what Connor Bedard got, but also it's not a huge overpay like they did for Leo Carlsson. Like Leo Carlsson's deal was freaking outrageous, and I can't imagine anybody using that as a measuring stick. I mean, maybe for Macklin, maybe Connor McDavid, but realistically, like that's an overpayment for Leo Carlsson. 100%. Connor Bedard's $15 million a year. That kind of fits Connor Bedard. Maybe honestly, he probably should have got less depending on how his injury history has been the last couple months. Still a great player. But 5 years, $15 million a year AAV for a player that hasn't really had anyone to play with, nor we don't know if he can, be healthy all year long. Like we saw him with a broken jaw. Was his rookie year? He had a broken jaw. And then he was okay, I think last year. And then the 2 shoulder injuries. Not a bad gamble if you're the Chicago Blackhawks, but at the same time, like something's got to be, there's got to be some positivity for Connor Bedard in Chicago for him to want to be there longer than 5 years. And he's basically telling Chicago, in 5 years, we're going to see where we're at, because if nothing's changed, then I'm out. Whereas if we're looking at Celebrini's case, right now, it's looking a hell of a lot better than it is in Chicago. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me today, boys. It's a quick one. We're just kind of bullshitting today. Like I said, the main topic was, the hometown remix jerseys, just to kind of go back to it. I don't think they're real. I think it's a bit. I think it's a gag. I think someone is playing a joke on someone somewhere, and we're just kind of seeing it now. If they are real, I hope to God they are not so cartoony. Like we've seen a bunch of mock-ups, and if they're anything like the mock-ups, I'm going to be sick, because we have got so much better dope artwork that we had in the past that we do not need to rely on that crappy crest jersey or crest logo they have on the mock-ups. We don't need pink in our lineup or in our jersey lineup at all. I showed the Ducks uniform mock-up. We've only seen the Sharks jersey mock-up. I can't wait to see what the whole entire uniform mock-up is for the Sharks, if this is the jersey we're going to go, because the jersey alone, we know that's a centerpiece. It's freaking horrible at the moment right now. My dog's walking in the room right now. But if the whole entire uniform looks like garbage, I'm going to be in the streets writing, because we have super dope artwork that we can be using. But yeah, that's going to do it for me, boys. The World Cup predictions, if you got them, let me know down in the comments. I'm about to jam out, go to the bar, watch it there. But I got Argentina winning it today. I will be without sports for the rest of the summer once this thing wraps up. I'm not a baseball fan, could care less. So I'll be watching a ton of hockey highlights. But yeah, if you're a Sharks fan, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll be here as we run into the season and talking about all things Sharks. Hopefully you guys have a good day, have a good week, and I will catch you homies in the next one. Peace out, boys.